Are you familiar with the Milgram experiment? The Milgram experiment involves three people: an experimenter, a teacher, and a learner. The experimenter and teacher are separated from the learner by a wall. There is a console in front of the teacher attached to a console in front of the learner. There are corresponding switches on the teacher's desk that correspond to different levels of electric signal that be sent to the learner if they got a question wrong on a test they were taking. The experiment's purpose was to see how far someone will be willing to go when they're given orders by an authority figure. As the learner gets questions wrong, the voltage level increases, and they are shocked with increasingly higher voltage signals, eventually leading to their supposed death. The Milgram experiment is highly controversial for its extreme ethical oversight. People who participated in the experiment were not properly briefed or given proper treatment after the experiment to deal with the potential trauma. However, the ethical breaches of the Milgram experiment pale in comparison to those made by the U.S. government during Project MKUltra, wherein the test subjects were not aware they were even part of a test and were never properly treated for the results. And it all starts with Operation Paperclip. For the sake of not getting immediately content ID'd, I'm going to be referring to the parties in this operation as not Z's. I also just don't want to draw a swastika. Operation Paperclip was a covert U.S. intelligence project in which they sought to immigrate Nazi scientists to help gain the upper hand against the Russians. It is the research of these scientists that laid the backbone for what ultimately became Project Artichoke. Project Artichoke was a covert CIA program during the 1950s that aimed to investigate the use of mind control and interrogation techniques. Unfortunately, most of the information is lost due to being destroyed or classified. However, we know that the project mainly focused on drug use, hypnosis, and psychological manipulation, and paved the way for... Once Project MKUltra started, the main experiments included administering LSD to mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, and prostitutes. As one agent put it, they were administering drugs to, quote, people who could not fight back. One part of Project MKUltra was Operation Midnight Climax, wherein the CIA would pay prostitutes to take men back to their CIA-made safe houses. The prostitutes would then dose those men with LSD, and the CIA agents would observe how the men acted under the effects of LSD through one-way mirrors and bugging equipment. In the wake of the Watergate scandal, the CIA director at the time, one Richard Helms, ordered the complete and total destruction of all documents related to MKUltra. Only 20,000 documents survived due to being misfiled, and a trial was held. However, the remaining documents are gone, lost to time, and thus it is impossible to have a proper grasp on the full scope of MKUltra. But now we have to ask the question, what of the ethics of the Project MKUltra? What happened to the people who were affected? What happened to those who ran the experiments? What happened to the government officials who approved these experiments be done on civilian populace? Was there any recompense for the victims? What of the ethics of the project? Nothing. Nothing happened.